All right, guides, welcome. For the next few minutes, think of me as your personal co-pilot. We're going to navigate through all the key concepts from your study notes together. My goal here is simple, to make sure you have everything you need to feel confident and absolutely ace that advanced vehicle handling quiz.
And let's be real, this is about so much more than just passing a test, right? This is a huge step forward in your career. Mastering these skills, well, that's what separates just a driver from a truly professional guide. You know, someone who can deliver a safe, memorable, and totally seamless experience for every guest. It's all about elevating your craft. So, let's get started and master these skills together.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big why, safety, and then we'll get into the practical how of sensitive driving and tackling those tough situations. We'll wrap up by looking at preparation and doing a final readiness check. The whole thing is designed to line up perfectly with what you're going to see on the quiz.
First things first, this is the absolute foundation of everything we do in the field. Before we even start talking about technique or different types of terrain, we have to get our heads around the core mission. Every single advanced skill you're about to learn is built on one single, non-negotiable principle.
And there it is, straight from your Simbavati study notes. This one sentence, that's the whole philosophy right there. It's not about being the fastest driver. It's not about showing off with risky maneuvers. The main goal, always and forever, is ensuring safety for you, for your guests, and for the wildlife. Keep this principle front and center, because it's the core of what you're going to be asked about. Okay, so with safety as our foundation, let's build on that. Our next big theme is sensitivity. Now this is where the real art of being a guide comes into play. It's this constant balancing act, you know. You're keeping your guests comfortable, you're respecting the animals, and you're protecting the incredible environment all around you.
Your study notes give us a great definition for environmental sensitivity. Basically, it means leaving the smallest footprint possible. Think about it this way. Every track you make can be a scar on the environment that lasts for years. So when the quiz asks about minimizing your impact, the professional choice is always to stay on the path, unless there's a truly exceptional sighting that makes going off-road both necessary and appropriate.
This really lays out the two different mindsets perfectly. When you're faced with a choice in the bush, it can be tempting to just think about speed, about getting to that leopard sighting as fast as you can. But a professional's first thoughts are always, are my guests comfortable and secure? And how am I impacting this environment? Comfort and sensitivity, they always win out over the rush.
And that same sensitivity is absolutely critical when you're approaching wildlife. The secret to a great encounter and a key principle you'll need for the quiz is to be calm, to be patient, and to be respectful. You move slowly, you watch the animal's behavior, and you give it plenty of space. This doesn't just protect the animal, it actually creates a much better, more natural viewing experience for your guests. And that's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get our hands dirty with the how. This section is like your personal field guide for those specific, tough situations that you're going to be tested on. These are the step-by-step procedures you really need to have locked in.
Okay, you hit a patch of thick mud. What's the pro move? It's definitely not flooring it. It's all about preparation and control. First, you engage your low-range gears. Why? Because that gives you maximum torque. That's the raw rotational power to your wheels, and it lets you just crawl through without spinning. Then, you brief your guests so they know to hold on. Then, you proceed with slow, steady momentum. Remember the rule, control, not brute force. That is your key.
It's a similar story on a steep descent. Control is everything. The most critical step, and you have to remember this, is engaging low range before you start going down. This uses the engine's own compression as a brake, which gives you way more control and stops your actual brakes from overheating. Let your guests know what's happening, go slowly, and let the vehicle's mechanics do the heavy lifting for you. That's the safe and correct way to do it.
Now what if you do get stuck? Look, it happens to the best of us. But before you even touch the gears, before you think about grabbing a traction mat, what is the absolute #1 first thing you do? You get your guests to safety, always. Have them get out of the vehicle and move to a secure spot, a good distance away, because a vehicle that's being recovered can move in unexpected ways. Their safety is priority #1, and it's the most important part of getting this question right.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the habits that can actually prevent a lot of these problems from ever happening. A true professional doesn't just react well to problems, they prepare meticulously. This proactive mindset is a huge part of what separates the best guides from everyone else. This pre-drive checklist is absolutely non-negotiable,
and it's a core concept you have to know. Before every single drive, you've got to check your vehicle's basics: tires, fluids, and all your equipment. Is the radio working? Is the first aid kit stocked? This isn't just about ticking boxes on a form. It's about taking full ownership of the safety and success of your drive before you even turn the key.
And what if something does go wrong out on a drive? The key is your professional conduct. You don't ignore it, and you definitely don't panic. You safely check out the situation, you communicate clearly and calmly with your guests, which builds an incredible amount of trust, by the way, and then you take the right action. Your calm competence in a stressful moment, that is the hallmark of an expert guide.
Okay, we've gone through the core principles, the specific scenarios, and the professional habits. Now it's time to pull it all together and make sure you're truly ready. Not just for this quiz, but for whatever the bush decides to throw at you. If you take only one single thing away from this whole session, let it be this. This idea right here is the golden thread that connects every single correct answer on your quiz. When you're in doubt, just ask yourself, which of these options prioritizes safety, shows sensitivity, and reflects good preparation? That's going to be your answer. So let's do a quick recall test. Your vehicle's stuck. Before you even think about the gears, what is your absolute first priority? And what comes right after you've handled that? Just think about that sequence we talked about.
And let's go one level deeper now. Can you explain, just in your own words, why guest comfort is so high on that list of priorities for a professional? What does focusing on their comfort really say about your approach as a guide and the kind of experience you're trying to create?
You have put in the work, you've studied the material, and now we've walked through all the core concepts together. You have everything you need. Trust in that knowledge, trust in your training, and approach every situation with the professionalism we've been talking about. You've got this. Good luck.